there, this is Mumet, Ama, and today my message is very simple. I want to legitimize something that is bastardized by a lot of people for no reason, and it is the soft life. No, there is nothing wrong with the soft life. You are not a witch if you want to live a soft life, and if wanting to live a soft life is becoming a witch, I think being a witch is actually a great life thing. No, there are people who have gone around glorifying poverty because that's the only thing they know. Yeah, they legitimize poverty because that's their lived experience. And because that's their lived experience and they want to find a way to cope with it, which is absolutely fine. The problem being when they begin to exert this as a norm and want other people to also comply, or there are some people, so many examples, but I'm going to give you one example that is common to social media right now. Cora Obidi had a nanny, and I think she's parted ways with her nanny. That's when this person comes into my inbox. So this person has been in my inbox all along, whilst this girl had a nanny. And at the time when the girl had a nanny, oh, it was for lazy women. How can a mother want a nanny? How can you be in the same house and not want to be with your children? Like, well, you can be in the same house and you can be working. Or sometimes you are even in the same house and you are resting. Having children and raising children, now that's a full-time engagement right there, isn't it? But yeah, I would never do that with my kids. I never did that with my kids. And I'm like, okay, please pause for 1 second. Could you have afforded a nanny when you had your kids? A nanny will be about $1,000 a month, living, maybe even more. $1,000 a week in some cases. And this girl is in California. Yeah, California will be about $1,000 a week if you have a living. Go have a look on any of the nanny websites. Even the au pairs are not that cheap. But to have a nanny for $1,000 a week, how many of I could never afford it. And then she's like, no, I'm asking, could you have afforded $1,000 a week for a nanny? Eventually, after going around in circles for a while, we come to acceptance. No, she could not. Okay. So your problem really is that other people are able to enjoy services that you could not enjoy for whatever reason. And for that, you are upset. For that, you think that they owe you something. For that, you will bastardize it because you didn't get it. It's a very common thing. Then I get those, because this person could not afford a nanny. This person had a kid and this person had to have their kid with them 24/7. So that is now the new model of good motherhood. If you are somebody who has got other people available to hold your kid for you sometimes and let you do other things other than run around after your kid, you must be a terrible mom. Ooh, you should be burnt at the stakes. Ooh, how dare you want to rest when you have a kid? Because we never got to rest when we had kids. How dare you want better for yourself and your children when we never got better for ourselves and our children? That's the second part of the conversation that's never really put out there. But to me and this person who had a conversation about Cora Obidi's nanny, and then recently when she finally kicked the nanny off, this same person came back in my inbox. You see, she couldn't even afford the nanny. And I'm like, honey, be quiet. Hush. I've already settled this with you. All this is pure jealousy. The girl could afford the nanny and now she can't afford the nanny. If that were the case, well, did you ever afford the nanny for her? No. It was her who was trying to afford the nanny and she found out she can't afford the nanny anymore. Which one concern you? As the Nigerians will say, waiting concern crayfish. Waiting concern crayfish. And it's because the bottom line of this is because this is something this person hasn't got or doesn't have or does not see how they could have. And one of the ways in which we cope when we can't have something is to bastardize it and say it's not important. That in itself is not a problem as long as you internalize it. You keep it to yourself. Yeah, oh God, who needs a nanny? That's fine. You can keep it to yourself. But don't you dare come and disturb me in society. Don't you come and bastardize what I'm doing. Don't you dare come call me names because you are not capable of affording a nanny to hold the kids for you some of the time. Anybody who's had children who wants to be sincere and honest will have to admit that there come times that I love my kids to bits, but there come times that I do want some space to me. Very few of us can admit to that without feeling as if there is something wrong with you as a mother. I have finally got to that point. Yeah, there are days, even now with my kids, there are days when I just need to be left alone. There are days when I just want to be with my thoughts. There are days when I want somebody else to drive my daughter to places and pick her up. It's not every time that I want to be on call as a mom. If that makes me a terrible human being, go right ahead and burn me. Burn me if you can, if you need to. But you see, for those who are able to have the softer life, life is easy. I mean, as a mom, if somebody could give you a 2 hour break, when my kids were young, if I could have afforded a nanny who would have given me even 1 hour a week to be with the kids, to stay with them, and if I could do that 1 hour a day, just for me to catch some time, I'd have spent that whole 1 hour in the toilet. Nowhere else. I'd have been in the toilet chilling without a child banging on the door, taking my time to read in the toilet because that's how I have built myself and my me time. Chilling in the toilet, and if I didn't need the toilet, I would be in the bath, running a bath, chilling, relaxing. And yes, there are some people who make chilling and relaxing seem like there's something wrong with. There isn't. Many women have had nannies help them raise their children, and a lot of those kids have ended up perfectly fine in society. Many women have had cooks in their homes, and yes, some of these cooks know how to cook better, so the children eat better meals. Some of these cooks know how to balance meals better, so everybody's health is actually taken care of. Why not? Nails. Those who are able to do nails, you are lucky and fortunate. This is the second month in a row where I have left my nail appointment till the last day of the month. And I'm sat here thinking, I am in danger of not going again one more month, but at least I have a subscription. And I have the option to cash in on the subscription when I can. Exciting, wonderful. What am I actually saying to you? Those who can afford to do nails, doing your nails legitimately is a very enjoyable experience. Having somebody file your nails so you are not cutting your own face with your fingers, it's amazing. When you don't have the money to pay for it, or you don't have the time to go sit down for it, you will trivialize it. But even me, on the rare occasions that I have actually prioritized and made it in to sit and have my nails filed, I have looked at the girl filing my nails, clearing my cuticles and whatnot, and I'm like, oh, this is fun. This is awesome. This is amazing. Even me, I come to that conclusion. It is nice to have the softer things in life. It is nice to not run around all the time. It is nice to have somebody else cook for you periodically or even regularly. It is nice to have somebody else wash your clothes. There's nothing wrong with it. It is nice to have somebody else drive you. This is the next big thing for me. When I am able to grow to a point where a person can drive me to the places I need to, or I have a full-time driver who can take the kids to school and bring the kids back, take me to school, bring me back, take the kids here and there. Like today, I'd have loved a driver who could have taken my daughter to her thing this morning. And right now, I'm sat here thinking, as soon as this is finished, I need to go back and pick that same child. When I pick her, we need to go to the Apple store. at the Apple store, that's another 2 hours of time going to be wasted. No, I don't need to be the one person in the Apple store with that child. And if I had somebody who would take my daughter to the Apple store to make sure that this happened, yes, I would have that person do it and crucify me if you want. In my head right now, I have made peace. That is the softer life, and there's nothing wrong with it. The softer life is when you have people go around and do some of the things that you would ordinarily have done running around like headless chicken for, and getting people to take the edge off you so you can have an easier ride. The softer life has many, many, many connotations. You can take it to private life, you can take it to public life. The softer life is when you are able to select the things that are vital for you to do, and you do those things, and you are able to cut out some of the things that you don't have to do, so your life becomes easier. The softer life. The softer life is how the better sets have lived for quite a long time. And that's why the queen dies at 90 something, because she's not lifted a finger to do a thing her own life. All she's ever done her whole life is this. If all you did as your full-time occupation is sitting at the back of fancy cars doing this, having somebody cook your meals and check your meals and cross-reference and do whatever, having people read your emails and write your letters on your behalf, having people to even break into your shoe, because the queen's shoes were actually broken into. Yes, her brand new shoes were worn by somebody else, so the leather could cut that person instead of her. So that the shoes were broken into. Yes, her shoes were broken into before she wore them. She did not want her own brand new shoes to pinch her own toes. No. Somebody else's job was to walk in this shoe within a certain fraction with particular techniques to break the shoe so that it would take her foot without pinching her toes. Yes. Are you telling me that there is anything wrong? Why does the leather need to cut my foot? Tell me. If I can find somebody who's willing to be paid to have her foot cut, and if I can afford to pay for it, honey, I would like somebody to break into my shoes now. I have come full circle on that one. Some people call it laziness. Well, what's wrong with laziness? If it makes you live a happier, nicer experience. What's the point of trying to make life difficult for yourself when easier alternatives exist? And when people tell you that there is something wrong with the softer life choices you are making, know that it's often from a point of jealousy. They do not have somebody who can cook their meals, so they'll tell you other people cooking for you is terrible. No, it's not. There are some people who will cook for you better meals than you can cook for yourself. And for even unskilled people, I make reference to this fish thing all the time because it's the new obsession I have. It's one of the things that I always did for myself, and now I get frustrated with that. Why do I have to scrape the skills of a fish? Why? If I can find somebody else who's willing to put their hand in cold water to scrape the fish, to get the fish ready for me, aka people who are already available at the fish market in a particular area dedicated to this. The funny thing is, even me, I don't even want to go to that area anymore. I want to call the fish guy and I'm going to text him. I'll pick my phone and then I send him pictures of the fish I like. He even sends the fish to my WhatsApp. Believe it or not, this guy sends me pictures of fish. So I go into my WhatsApp, I search for him, and when I find him, I click on his fish and I send him picture. This one, how much? This one, how much? 2 kilo, this one, how much? I have pictures of the fish. Pictures of fish on my phone. Pictures of fish. There you go. Pictures of fish. And when he sends me pictures of fish, I select the fish that I would like him to grill for me, or to fry for me, or to do whatever for me. And when I send him the pictures of the fish, well, he selects, or sometimes he shows me the weights of them whilst he's weighing them. Yeah, I'm still sitting in my house. He cleans them and he sends me pictures and he says, Madam, this is what they look like. I'm here, let's go right ahead, fry them. I'd like some bakuda, so he makes them for me. He sends me all the fish he has, and I get to pick which one I want to eat at a time. And when my choices are made, he takes it to the area to have it cleaned. I don't need to be involved in that. In fact, he is more likely to get better instructions to the fish cleaners than me because they speak the same language. I don't. So he has it cleaned. Then he has to package for me nicely. Sometimes I want it grilled, cooked in some way, fried, whatever. He takes it to the place outside his shop where the frying, the grilling, or whatever happens. And then he says, Madam, come 5 p.m. I'm like, okay. On my way at 5 p.m., I call him like, Habibi, I'm 5 minutes away. He's like, okay. I get out, I park my car. He brings it outside. I take the fish. Fish cooking and fish eating is a 30-minute exercise instead of a 3-4 hour punishment. Who is going to tell me that I have to scrape the fish myself? Who is going to tell me that? And be able to do so with any intelligence? Who is going to tell me that I must be the one who explains it to the guy how the fish should be cleaned? Who is going to tell me that I am the one who is supposed to go to the shop and tell them how to grill it? I can delegate it because this is not a vital function. There are certain things that are vital that require my personal attention. This is not one of them. This is the choice that those who live a soft life actually make. They look at certain things and they decide this is not a priority worth my time. This is a priority worth my time. I am happy to spend 4 hours in the salon doing my nails. Yes. Manson cannot prioritize that. But some people are. They are capable of doing so and they live a much softer life. There are some people, you go to their house, even the air they breathe is delivered by other people. It makes breathing easier. Who's going to knock it? The reason why I will roll my eyes is because I don't have people who can bring air to me and purify my air. But if I was able to, I probably would do as well. And if I was able to, I probably would find nothing wrong with it at that time. Most of us tend to find things wrong with things that are outside our affordability at a particular time. So, if you are lucky enough to be living the soft life, do know that you are very privileged indeed. If you are not living a soft life, I think it's a good time to sit down and reflect. Can you make your life softer? Are there slight changes that you can make that will make your life easier? Are there adjustments that you can make? Are there people around you that could also take on? Those of you with children, are you breathing for the children, wiping their backsides for them, or they can read for themselves, they can breathe for themselves, they can wipe for themselves? Teach the kids to wipe for themselves sometimes so it can buy you a bit of time to have a life. Nothing wrong with that. If you can make your life softer, do make your life softer. Don't let anybody else convince you, trick you, fool you to think that it must be done the hard way. What is important is that it's done, and it's done efficiently. It doesn't have to always be done by you. That's a very simple thing I wanted to share with you. Make life soft if you can. There is nothing wrong with that. Don't allow other people to disenfranchise you by telling you that certain things are not good because it's easy. Why do things the harder way if there is an easier way? Make it make sense. It doesn't make any sense. Make it make sense to me why I should make it more painful than it needs to be. You tell me. No need. Anyway, I'm going to love you. I'm going to leave you. And I'll let you brood on this one. I would love to hear your comments. And then, if need be, we will extend the video further.